guys, so we're coming into Dagmar's, and it's a low tide. It's a minus 1.9 today. So I just want to talk to you guys about how to get in and out of Dagmar's following the channel. So if we look up ahead, you guys are going to see a couple markers. So if you line up on those markers, that's going to put you in the channel, and you want those markers as close as you can. I got to tell you, having good chart is really important, because good chart, it will show you where that channel is. Now we're going from one set of markers, and then we're going to look for another marker once we make a turn. Your chart software, whatever it is that you choose, will show you the point at which you turn. If you turn too soon, you run the risk of getting out of the channel. So we're just going to make our way up through here and follow the channel. Good chart plot maps are important to stay in the channel. When the tide's this low, if you get out of this channel, you could damage your prop, run aground, and then you're stuck there until the tide comes back in. So we're going to work our way up through here. There's no sense in trying to go fast. I'm only in 5 feet of water right now. We'll just work our way up the channel. Once we get to the turn, we will stay in the channel. You don't want to make that turn too soon or too late, because you run the risk of getting out of the channel. Okay, so we've made our turn, and our next turning point is up here. It's a green marker up ahead, and we're just going to follow this channel and get up to that point, and then we'll make another turn, go by the mill, and once we pass this point, there aren't any real reference points to keep you in the channel other than your chart software. So I'm approaching the train bridge. This is train bridge 37. So if I was going to call them on the radio and ask them to swing the bridge open, I'd call them train bridge 37, Carlin 2. They'd respond and say, I'm coming upriver, can you open? And then they'll respond whether they can or if they can't, because the train is coming. Today, I've got enough room to get under the bridge without them opening. I need at least 8 boards to get through, and I'll show you what I'm talking about as I get closer. But I am going to lower my antennas. Got my antennas lowered. Just so you know, when you're coming upriver, there's a left side and a right side. You can go through either side. The left side, going upriver, that is the maintained channel. So if you want to make sure that you've got enough water, especially on low tide, go upriver on the left side of the bridge. Okay, so what I'm talking about, 8 boards. The center of the train bridge has basically a barrier around it. It's got boards that surround it in case anybody strikes the piers or something, and that protects the train bridge. Not counting the very top board, I start counting down, and I need 8 boards, and today it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 boards. It's 11 boards. That's more than enough room for me to navigate under train bridge 37 without them swinging open. I did lower my antennas because I don't want the tips of my antennas to strike the bridge and damage them. So if you have anything like that, I'd suggest that you lower it. And it's it would really help if you had a second person here to know what your clearance height is. Their water gauge height markers are not very good. They're all rusted out, got barnacles all over them, so you can't see them. You guys, this is a no wake zone. You could be fined if you're causing a wake. Don't be running past train bridge 37. And there's a lot of times there's other vessel traffic in here. If you're running a large boat, you can absolutely fit in this same channel we're going in, going upriver. You can fit through here with another boat. It's not a problem. There's plenty of room. As we leave train bridge 37, you can see up ahead, that's Dagmar's Marina. If the tide is going out, and it is, in fact, it just started turning. However, I've still got good current from the river flowing down. When you have current like that coming down, you can nose up and come into a takeout lane. But you also need to be cognizant of the wind direction. And I'm looking at the flag on top of the building today, and I see that the wind is coming from my right to the left, which pushes me into the dock. So you definitely want to have your speed down. You don't want to be going fast. Sometimes they have a dock hand ready to help you tie off, but you don't plan on that. You need to be prepared to dock and tie your boat off yourself. Guys, one thing I would suggest to you, if this is your first time coming up into Dagmar's, is put your fenders out on both sides of the boat. You know, you might have an idea that you're going to come in and dock on the starboard side, but maybe the wind is pushing you, or the current of the river, or the tide's pushing you another direction. And next thing you know, instead of being tied on the starboard side, you're coming into the dock on the port side. You can't control your boat. So put your fenders out on both sides, and it's just extra security. All right, super important when you're coming into Dagmar's to know this is a no wake zone. You know, causing a wake can cause damage to boats on the dock. So be cognizant of that, and you really need to know just how shallow it is. I'll show you. So if you guys take a look, you can see that's bottom right there at the front of my bow. Got more water in the back, so I was able to come in, but I'm at the end of the dock. Okay, you guys, so you've gotten up to Dagmar's, worst case scenario, low tide. Now it's your first time leaving. We're doing it today. It's overcast, but it's not foggy. But I want to talk about some very important aspects of leaving, especially in the fog. And this is where your chart on your electronics is really going to come into play. Because when it's foggy, sometimes I've left, it's dark, it's foggy, you can't see the lights on the bridge, and that means that you really need to rely on your software to get you out. I've done a couple things. I've added some waypoints, so I know that I hit my first waypoint, I line up for my second one, and then for the third waypoint, that takes me directly through the channel next to the train bridge. Okay, so we're going to leave here in just a second. I think the train bridge is already open, but let's say it's foggy and you can't see if it's open. You need to call them on the radio. That's going to be on channel 13, and you're going to call out train bridge 37. whatever your boat name is, and then they'll respond. And you can say, I'm departing Dagmar's in 2 minutes. Are you open? Can you open? And they'll respond. If they don't have a train coming, they're going to open up. Okay? Be patient with them, because sometimes those trains, they stop on that bridge. The train bridge operator has no control over that. So be patient. Okay? So we're going to get out of here and start heading down river. Okay, so you can see the river, the tide is outgoing, so the river's flowing. So when you come out, you want to try and stay away from the downriver side of the dock, because that river flow will throw you into the dock. Okay? Okay, so I've made 3 waypoints on my chart. The first waypoint is where the channel angles. So in the fog, that's the waypoint I'm going for. I want to hit that waypoint, and then I'm going to make a slight turn to the left to line up for my second waypoint. That second waypoint is the entrance between the train bridge and the structure. Okay? Once I hit that second waypoint, I just make sure I keep my boat straight. It shows me my vector, and I aim up for that third waypoint. And once I hit that waypoint, I am past train bridge 37. Now, when the tide's high like this, you could go out either side of train bridge 37. I'm going to go down the right side as I'm heading down river, because I want you to see the route that you would be going in the fog, possibly in the dark. Okay? Now keep in mind, if it's really foggy, we're not seeing any of those lights on the train bridge. Okay, I've hit my first waypoint. I'm going to make a turn to the left. And now I'm lining up for my second waypoint. Depending on how zoomed in you are, you may be able to get that vector line to line up both your second and your third waypoint, and make it easy for you. Your chart software should show the channel, it should show the bridge, train bridge 37, it should also show the structure to the right, the rest of the train bridge. Okay, I've hit my second waypoint, and I just want to keep it straight and go for my third waypoint. Okay, so I hit my third waypoint, and you can see I'm on the other side of train bridge 37. Okay, so this is where I'm really, especially in the fog, and if it's dark, okay, dark and foggy, two of the things I don't like. But if it's dark and it's foggy, this is where your chart software that you use really comes into play. I'm using Humminbird's CoastMaster, and I love this stuff. It shows everything. It shows instructions. It shows me the channel. Here in a few minutes, when I get close enough, it's going to show me the recommended navigation line, and it puts you dead in the middle of the channel. Okay, so you know, if it's daylight now that we've passed Train Bridge 37, and you can see and you're comfortable with it, you can run this. You can run until you get to the no wake zone by the Everett boat launch, 10th Street boat launch, okay? Now, right now, they have a barge down here that they're doing the loading and unloading timber. I gotta tell you, this channel runs very close to it. So, especially in the dark, it's really, really important that you're staying in the middle of the channel. So as you're heading out, depending on where the wind's coming from, right now we have the wind coming into us, but yet we have the tide going out. And so, depending on how fast you go, you might have to, you know, manage your steering wheel a little bit more than you normally would. I'm just cruising kind of slow. I want you guys to see everything, and it is, you know, wind pushes my bow one direction, I have to correct because I want to stay in the channel, okay? I would also suggest that when the tide's high like this, I would stay pretty close to the channel. I wouldn't be cutting corners because there are pilings, there are sunken vessels, barges. You don't want to cut the corner and all of a sudden strike something with your prop because then you'd be in trouble. On my chart software, the navigation line begins at this next turn, and this next turn is right by these barges that they use to move timber around. So as you guys can see, we are pretty close to those barges. We are in the channel to run this. So this just really accentuates how important chart software, good chart software, is on your electronics. We're at the point we need to make a turn, and up ahead I've got some day markers, okay? And I currently have them lined up. Okay, I've zoomed in so you can see them. They're just to the right on the land, and right now they're not perfectly lined up. They're close, but not perfect. That is your route. Now, if we look over to the left, way off in the distance, that's your next set of markers to line up on. So what I want to do is I want to go straight toward these markers until the markers to my left, my next set of markers, line up. And once they line up, I make my turn directly to the markers. Now, keep in mind, if it's dark and foggy, you can't see these markers. But for daytime, this is your navigation aid. As I continue to go straight toward these markers, the markers to my left are starting to line up, which coincides with the turn on my chart software. Those markers are lined up. I'm making a slight turn to the left. And now I'm heading for those daytime markers. So I'm still tracking on the second set of markers. They're pretty close to being lined up. If you want it perfect, the black line in the middle of the daytime markers will be completely lined up. But this is close enough. You don't have to be perfect on this. One thing I would like to point out, this is a working channel. It's not uncommon for a tugboat to be bringing a barge up or down river. Okay, so I've got those markers lined up. Over to my left, there's my third set of daytime markers. I'm going to continue straight on these marks until the markers on my left line up, and then I'm going to make a turn. These marks are lined up. I'm now making my turn. So I do have a vessel off to my left. He's heading out. He's probably right on the edge, the outside edge of the channel, which is fine. There's plenty of water right now to head out. Now, if you're heading out during daytime, you want to stay on these markers until you pass, until this area becomes completely open. If you're coming out and it's foggy and it's dark, again, that's where your software is going to come into play, your charting software, so that you know where to make the turn to stay in the channel, especially if the tide is low. This is pretty good. We'll see if he makes his turn early or if he waits till he gets to the turn point in the channel. Looks like he's staying in the channel so far, and because I've scooted over a little, he's right on the left edge, and you can see he's starting to make his turn right there. He waited. He's clearly using his chart software, and he waited until he got to the turning point to make his turn. And it's not a very steep turn. It's a slight turn. I'm making my turn. And I'm in the channel, and I'm heading out. So there is no daytime markers from here on out, okay? You can rely on your chart software to keep you in the channel until you hit the point that they have the dredge part of the river for shipping traffic. What I do is I aim slightly left of the big cranes way down there at the shipping terminal. We got a couple big cranes, and so I just kind of aim at them, maybe a little to the left, and it keeps me in the channel. Again, a lot of water, not a big deal. But if it's low tide, you want to stay in this channel. So guys, I hope this information is helpful to you. We've shown you how to get in to Dagmars. We've shown you how to get out of Dagmars. And if it's your first time doing this, just take it slow, take it easy. If you're going slow, you're less likely to get in trouble. Until next time, thanks for watching.